Okay, hello world. I am Ira, as many of you know, and today I want to talk about something that I've been planning on making a video about for a while. Here, well, you can see my little dog in the background, Bella. She's just hanging out with me. Um, so what I want to talk about is So this month is, at least according to Autism Speaks, Autism Awareness Month, and I thought, that I might want to actually make a video about my autism because I have high functioning autism, as a lot of you know. As a little kid, I was different from most other kids, at least according to society's rules. I had trouble interacting with others in the same way that other kids had. I still have that trouble. I was born prematurely. A lot of people are born prematurely, but I was born 2 months earlier than I should have been. So that that just might be the reason why I have Asperger's syndrome. Um, I mean, the root causes of autism are still being studied, so it's not like a certainty that it's because I, didn't have as much time to develop as other people do in, the womb. But things that definitely were impacted by my premature birth were my fine motor skills. My handwriting is complete crap if you have ever seen it. Um, yeah, it's very messy, and I mean, there's probably worse out there, but still, it's nothing to really write. It's nothing to write home about. Sucks. When I was younger, I would um, make noises doing this, and I'd just run around and do it wherever I had open space to do it. And it was me imagining a cartoon or imagining I was in a TV show or something. Um I didn't know whether I'd grow out of it or not, but I did. But it took some time, and people definitely did think that it was weird, and um yeah, people weren't exactly tolerant of it. Um I mean, I didn't really see what was wrong with it at the time, but I was a little kid, so it's not like I would really know. Uh, and in kindergarten, I kind of fell behind most of my class. And really in pre-K, daycare, whatever, preschool, Kira would, my twin sister, would always clean up after me and would baby me and just do everything for me because I had no idea how to do anything. um, except for doing the noise and a few other things. Um, yeah. So in kindergarten, I wasn't I wasn't keeping up with the rest of my class. I was clearly not showing a development that was satisfactory development, I guess you could say. And I know people are like, "Oh, what's so hard about kindergarten? All you do is sleep and play with blocks." And well, there's more to it than that. The reason why they have you build blocks, why they have you draw, why they have you read those little children's books, like The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Um, it's because it does it, like, if you can't, like, do those well, and for everybody's brain works differently. For some people, that's a piece of cake at 4 or 5 years old, 6, but for other people, it's not. People develop at different rates. So it's not a good thing, like, at all, to make fun of somebody for not understanding something that maybe you, like, have understood for a long time, because people's brains develop at different paces. And it's not something they can exactly help. They can get help with it, but it's like, it's not, I mean, let me put it this way. Um, People who make fun of it can, like, actually, like, legitimately help that. People who have slower developing brains, or, on certain subjects, they can't really help that. It's the way their brain's wired. Anyway, so I spent 2 years in kindergarten. A lot of kids do that. It's nothing too rare. Like, kindergarten's probably actually the most common grade to get held back in. So I've always been a year older than most of the people in my grade, or at least just older. But I really needed that year, because if I were to just go on to first grade, things wouldn't have been so good for me, because there were certain things that I just wasn't getting down in kindergarten, that I wasn't learning fast enough, how autism works, especially Asperger's, is that, like, there's this thing that they always have this thing that they're just really not very good at, like, at all. They have, like, a huge weakness, but they also have a huge strength. Like, it's one thing that they're really, really good at, or just, like, they're really interested in, you know. Or maybe just autistic people can tend to, like, be just very obsessive about things, We're very emotional people. um, so yeah, I spent a second year in kindergarten, because, like, I don't exactly remember what I was having a hard time learning, but I mean, like, basic things like drawing and painting, I was having a bit of a hard time with. And, like, just, yeah, fine motor skills. It was that type of stuff. So when you say, "Oh, kindergarten's just a bunch of building blocks and napping," you're just being ignorant. You don't know what you're talking about. Of course, like, compared to school now, I'm in 10th grade. Kindergarten is like nothing. Like, I would actually like to go back to that for a day or something, because, oh man. Anyway, so in elementary school, I did actually have quite a few friends. I still was, like, pretty awkward socially, I guess, because of the noise thing I did up until, like, before third grade. Like, people thought I was weird and all of that, and people didn't really understand what was going on with me. Heck, I didn't even know I had autism until fourth grade. Like, I thought that the reason why I don't look people in the eye is just because I don't, because it hurts my eyes when I do it, or stuff like that, um, or why my handwriting isn't as good. I just thought, oh, because I'm just not very good at it. Um, I didn't think that there was a deeper meaning. Like, be really in, like, I went through a lot of different phases when I was younger, where I would just, like, obsess over something, be, like, a huge fanboy of it, and then just kind of move on to something else and just not care about the thing that I was obsessive about. Yeah, and apparently that's something a lot of people with autism go through at a young. Well, I don't. It's just something they go through. But then, I found. Okay, yeah. Oh my gosh. In third grade, I was. Well, I still love Pokemon, but I was like overly obsessed with it. Like, I would get pissed off if somebody told me they didn't like Pokemon, or if they told me that it sucked and anything. And people would mess with me about that, of course. Um, and stuff like that. And I was like really like Pokemon was like the only thing I would talk about. Oh, another Asperger's trait that I exhibited when I was younger, and I tend to nowadays, but it's definitely gotten better. I like really would really like I would just talk and talk and talk. I was a huge motor mouth. I just wouldn't stop talking, wouldn't give people other turns to speak. I would just completely like take control of the conversation. Or I would just like go completely off topic. I mean, that's stuff that I do nowadays, but it's definitely gotten better. Um, I'm not, I, I don't really know what this is, but I've always had a weird obsession with looking at myself in the mirror. I'm not vain. I don't really think I look that good, but for some reason, I just really like looking at myself in the mirror. It's just an odd obsession that I've always had. Um, so, also, oh, an important thing is that, in, like, if I'm in class or something, well, okay, this was an issue I had when I was, okay, most of the, main autism problems, or just, I guess, more minor ones that made it more obvious that I had autism, were like mostly back in elementary school. Nowadays, it's a lot harder to tell that I'm autistic than it was back then. I mean, maybe like if you observe how I interact with others, or how like I tend to kind of awkwardly enter conversations, or groups of people and stuff like that. Then or if you just like know how autism works, then you could probably tell that I have autism. I mean, personally, like, I find it rather easy to tell whether people have autism or not, or like, you know, y- I might like think, huh, maybe they do have autism or something like that. It's because I have it, so I know how it works. So yeah, so I guess I'm gonna kind of dive into the things I have a hard time with, or just my autism things nowadays, because it's not something that goes away. It gets better. I mean, it's gone a lot better for me, but it's still there. It's how your brain's wired. It's with you until you die. Um, okay, this was like I was a lot more outgoing when I was younger, still like very socially awkward and had kind of poor social skills. But nowadays I'm like very awkward and like shy and all of that, and it's hard for me to approach people. But that's because of like bullying and stuff. Um, but still, that is something like, and like some I don't I actually like most of the time do not call people's names when I want to talk to them. So if I want to like tell them something, oh, and my eye contact it got better for a while, but then it just went back to being bad. Yeah, so I don't really look at people when I talk to them, and I don't exactly say their names. So sometimes they might not like I might tell them something, and it's like, oh, they're like, well, they wouldn't say that, but they'd be thinking, oh, well, I don't, is he talking to me? No, I don't think so. Um, I still, like, have a bit of a hard time with academics. I know I had a really hard time with math when I was in elementary school. It just didn't really click with me, you know? I mean, nowadays it's gotten a lot better, but, there's still things that I don't get about it. But, I mean, there are probably things that a lot of people don't, get, because now I'm in like advanced algebra and stuff like that. Um, it's not as simple as like addition, multiplication, subtraction. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, Yeah, that's definitely gotten a lot better too, but I wouldn't say that math is my strongest subject. No, it is not. It never has been, and it probably never will be. It's not exactly my weakest subject, but, still. Um, I'm not that social, well, okay, I don't have a ton of friends, I guess. I mean, the friends I do have are the ones that matter, but, um, like, I don't have as many friends as, like, the people, as my sister, as Kira. And I don't, like, I'm not invited to parties and stuff, and, um, you know, and, oh, sensory overload. If I'm at like a rock concert or if I'm at school in the hallways, I feel kind of overloaded because there's just a lot of stuff going around. Well, especially at a rock concert, it's really loud and it just really just kind of um makes me feel kind of anxious and stuff. Um uh but like in the hallway, it's like I just see a whole bunch of people that I know just walking by me all at once, and it's I guess noise is kind of a contribution, and it's just me being nervous and stuff. So I usually like don't say hello to people in the hallway, even if they're a really close friend of mine. But it's not anything personal. It's just like because I like it's just like I'm in the hallway. Look at all these people. And I'm just way too nervous. Um, so the thing that I'm really good at, um, there are like a few things I consider myself to be good at, or just, well, really into. I guess like I do like love video games and consider them like a major part of my life, but I also love acting, and um, I really like making like little posters or whatever. I guess you could say graphic design. Um, uh, I know, um, really like it's just that's just kind of nerd culture, just being a geek or whatever. But I guess that's really just my obsession right there. um, yeah, I'm also like really into writing. I guess I haven't written that much, but I mean like when I do like write a story, I do get quite into it. So yeah. And I mean, I don't know if I'm exactly good at drawing, but I definitely do like to draw. But that's something that a lot of people like to do. I'm not like obsessed with it or anything. It's just kind of something that I like. I kind of consider it a side hobby. Um so like pretty much every autistic person out there, when I'm still in school. What am I talking about? I was about to say when I was in school. Um So in school, I have been bullied, and people have messed with me, and social cues and all that stuff. I kind of have a hard time reading those, and people have definitely taken advantage of that. And just yeah, that's just the main thing. People taking advantage of that, and like knowing that something is a weakness of mine and exploiting that and all that. It's something that a lot of autistic people go through. Um, it's certainly nothing, cool. It's not something that should happen, but it does because people are ignorant and they don't understand stuff. So, how do they deal with it? By belittling the people, and it's just not cool. But anyway, um, uh, so I definitely I don't dislike the fact that I have autism. I actually quite like my autism because it makes me the person I am, and I actually kind of like how I mean, at least I think I'm a pretty unique and different person, and I just really like that about myself, and I don't think it would be that way if I weren't autistic. So I'm kind of thankful for my autism in that sense. Um, you know, there are definitely people who like think, "Oh, I'm just such a weirdo, I'm such a freak," and all that. But there are people like who actually like me because I'm different. And kudos to you people. I love you guys. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much all I can really say about my autism at the moment. Um, so if you have autism, then I guess you can like make a response to this video or like comment about it and talk about your experiences. That would be nice, you know. Um, or like if you know somebody with autism, or if you spend a lot of time around people with autism, you can talk about that and all that. That would be cool. So that's like all I really have. And have a nice night, everybody. And if you see somebody who seems kind of different, who seems to learn stuff at a different pace, just like remember that it's the way the brain's wired. Don't be mean about it. And respect them and treat them like human beings, because that's exactly what they are. So with that, I will see you some other time. Bye.